What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's well, doing your thing. I actually made some notes for this, but I freaking forgot it in the house. So we're gonna try to make it cook, doing off of memory. So I want to talk today. I'm taking a ride here. I want to talk today a little bit about why you need friends, and all that. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share. If there's anything else you want me to talk about, I will definitely talk about it. Just hit me an email and all that. And let me just also say here, I'm claiming fair use on all the stuff that I've done in the past. I got a strike off of some dude's video, so I'm really upset about that. But anyway, let's push on. Let's talk about the negative. Excuse me. Let's not focus on the negative. Let's talk about the positive. So I wanted to talk today a little bit about why you need friends and why that's so important. So today I had a really great conversation with a friend of mine. We've been friends since we were kids, and so we had a good discussion today, and it was very enlightening, very cathartic, very opening. And we go through a lot of stuff in life, and a lot of times we try to tough through a lot of things. We try to tough through it, and we try to put up this persona of this tough guy image, this persona of I can make it, I'm strong, I'm independent, I don't need nobody, and I'm gonna make it, and look at me. But on the inside, a lot of times we are crying, we're hurt, we're in pain, we're in anguish. We want somebody to hold us, to hug us, to feel for us, and all that. So that was a big part of the conversation that we had today. And I released some stuff that he's like, oh man, I didn't know you was going through that, and he didn't know I was going through a lot of stuff, and or that I had gone through it. Now I'd processed it, I'd done the work, I did the work, I processed it with the therapy a number of times for a lot of stuff that I'd gone through, marriages, failing, just other stuff, and um, it was just not a good place for me mentally for those times. So I want to say that you need friends in order to unload on people. And one of the biggest critiques that I have of therapy isn't so much in going to therapy itself, but psychology and therapy is really about pressing through a lot of things and never really fixing or overcoming. Never really fixing or overcoming. And that's why I want to really focus on a lot of changing. Right? Okay, you got a bad job, but okay, well, how do you navigate this job to make it the best? How do you kind of coalesce and co-sign and get along with and tamp down your feelings in order to get through your job? And I don't think that that's the most healthy way to deal with anything that you got going on. I believe in being an overcomer and really making some powerful moves in order to become the best version of yourself. And sometimes, if your job is causing you not much stress, your life is causing you not much stress, then you got to leave it. You got to leave it. And the conversation that I had today, we were talking about some of the things that were going on in the past marriages and stuff. And he was, we were talking, and we were like, listen, you got to leave those. You got to leave those. And I'm not one to say that we ought to be just leaving marriages. I resent that. I hate that. I take those vows very seriously. And I'm very much upset, particularly at how things went down the second time, because I tried to be so much better. But you got to be able to let things go. And one thing I didn't do for my marriage was let things go. I didn't let things go from my first marriage. I didn't let things go, and that translated over to my second marriage. So you need friends in order to help you process this thing. I started to say, one of the biggest problems I have about therapy is that we're not getting to the root matter and being told strong enough, consistently enough about how to navigate some of this stuff. Now I'm talking about friends who are competent, who know what they're doing, who actually have your best interest in heart. I'm not convinced that everybody has to be trained in therapy. Sometimes you just need a listening ear. Sometimes you just need a listening ear, someone who's going to be empathetic with you, sympathetic with you. I always get those confused. But anyway, I'll look them up, put them on the screen here. But anyway, you need to know somebody who's going to be there with you, right? They may not have, whether they've gone through it themselves, it's really both, whether they've gone through it themselves or they can just hear what you're saying and mentally put themselves in your shoes. You want to know that somebody has your best interest at heart. And so you need friends to do that. I'm not talking about acquaintances. I'm not talking about people that you know that you work with. I'm talking about friends. And they say that you only get, 3 or 4 of those in your entire lifetime. So those people who are your friends, who are your ride or dies, whether you got money, whether you don't have money, whether you are down in your luck and depressed, whether you're going through divorce, whatever's whatever, and you really find out who your friends are when you go through a divorce. You really find out who your friends, not acquaintances and associates and all that other stuff. You want to know who your friend is? Obviously, I'm not advocating for this, but go through a divorce and you'll find out real quick. You'll find out real quick who they are. Man, this dude is all up on me. He must be late going somewhere. The guy behind me, he's right on my bumper. So listen, I want you guys to really try to understand, the value of friendship and all that. So again, therapy to me, is what it is. But I think that we have outsourced so many things, to other people, right? We work so much that we got to outsource our cooking, our cleaning. We got DoorDash, we got, housekeepers, all this different type of stuff, right? And we've outsourced a lot of this stuff. And one of the things that we've outsourced is therapy. Somebody to talk to, somebody to help us, somebody to run things by, somebody who'll listen to us for an hour at a time, not trying to interject, not trying to get us wrong, to tell us that we're wrong, not trying to tell us to do, here's what I would do in this situation, or make the situation about them. Sometimes you need somebody just to talk to and get it off your chest about, and really have this cathartic, weightlifting event where you are, able to get things off your chest, right? So that's important. That's really, really important. And too many people, we just don't have that. So I'm talking about, developing good, strong friendships. You need them, right? Another thing that we need friends for is, right, really the human touch. There's a big push now to, they're talking about the male loneliness epidemic. And I'm not convinced that is necessarily a real thing, but I am convinced that you need to be in the room with people from time to time. Some of the things that people will talk about is, guys have a lot of online spaces, Reddit forums or video games, chat rooms and things like that to talk to people. But sometimes, you need to go out and, whether you drink or not, go grab a beer or soda or grab some wings and really just talk and meet and give each other hugs and dap and all this kind of stuff, and just really connect on a human, physical presence and level, and look into somebody's eyes and read their body language and all that, and have them read yours, and so they can see the pain that's in your voice, or the happiness, or the glee that's in your voice, right? It goes both ways. Sometimes you want to be in the room with someone to share those experiences with. So that's all important. So you need friends. You need friends. And, you really got to work on those types of things and understand their value and importance. And I also want to say that, but you got to first show yourself to be someone who's capable, reliable, lovable, and you got to stretch your hand out first, and all that. And so that's a real essential skill that I think that far too many of us have lost. One of the things that I think that COVID and this time has really kind of expressed or demonstrated or shown us is that we have there's a certain group of people, particularly millennials, who have grown up without these social skills. And a lot of people just don't have these social skills. They don't know how to get along. They don't know how to talk. They can't read each other's body language. All they know is how to text and comment in comment sections and all this type of nonsense, right? And they don't know how to interact with people, right? And this is the skill that needs to be developed, and you got to develop. We used to develop that on, believe it or not, on the playground. Developed that on the, in classrooms and all that. I recognize they're back in classes and stuff, but hiding behind a glass, hiding behind a monitor, behind becoming keyboard warriors is not going to develop those types of skills that you're going to need. Hopefully you're going to need them, when you're doing whatever you're doing in whatever type of job, and or your social skills, right? And or your social skills. I harp a lot on social skills because they're so important, right? Those soft social skills, the ability to read people, etc., right? That is so important because it's a lost art. It's a lost skill. People don't have it. They don't think it's important and all that. So I really want you all to really kind of focus on that, to become the best versions of yourselves, to love who you are, and to work on yourself, right? And develop friends. Develop friends who are going to be a friend at all times, somebody you can confide in, and be the person somebody can confide in, and not release other people's secrets, right? This takes work, it takes practice, and all that. So again, friends can help you work through issues. They can help you work through problems, whether they give advice or not. One of the biggest things that I went through my situation, one of my marriages was, at the end of it, a lot of people are saying, oh, we always knew that this was an issue. Man, I wanted to hurt people, and that's why I'm saying, who your friends are when you go through. I'm going to say divorce, but any kind of traumatic experience, right? How people show up, and what they say and what they do. That all that matters, man. All that matters, and you really get to see people in their light and who they are. And and so when people were telling me, oh, we knew this was an issue, we knew this was a problem, I lost a lot of respect for those people. I'm gonna keep it a buck, as my boys would say. I lost a lot of respect for these people. Sometimes people just watch you just drive down the street. And also, let me just say this: if you're somebody's friend, you're gonna tell them multiple times, because sometimes we're not listening. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes you got to pull people to the side, and I'm not pull people to the side and say, "Listen, I need you to listen to me. I'm trying to help you. You're my boy. I love you. You're my girl. I love you. This ain't it, right?" Now, eventually, they probably will do it. I guarantee I don't even know if there is one, but there is some kind of statistical measure, some type of academic literature that says, how often can we talk people out of their decisions? It'd probably be negative, but at least you told them. And at least, I wish that people at least just told me. They would at least people came up to me and said, yeah, we knew this was an issue. We knew it. How come nobody told me? But that's something I had to process, had to work through, had to forgive myself for, had to look over, had to forgive other people for, right? So, but you got to work through that. You got to work through that. And there's a time to be strong and independent, and there's a time to lean on other people. And if you lean too far, then you might end up falling, right? They become a crutch, and you can't do anything without their say so and or assistance. On the other hand, right, if they're not even trying, then they're not even trying. So I want to drop this here to say, listen, friendship is important. It's essential. Not only should you have friends, confide in friends, become the best friend that you can be one who is a confidant and confident, one who's never going to spill secrets, one who's always there for you. You get a call at 2 a.m. about a flat tire that needs to be changed, then you're able to do that and be that person, right? And pay people back. I know a lot of people don't pay each other back. All that type of stuff, man. All that type of stuff to really work on yourself and to become something different, become something notable and worthy and loving and lovable. And that takes skill and practice and self-awareness and all that. It takes all that to really move into this mode where you can call yourself a friend and be a friend to somebody else. Friendships are important because you have to be a listening ear, not judgmental, not spilling the secrets, not laughing at somebody's pain, carrying their issues with you to the grave, whether your friendship breaks up or not. Whether your friendship breaks up or not, whether it lasts or not, can you take their secrets to the grave? And a lot of times, I think that a lot of people hold back because they don't trust anyone. Imagine going through life without someone that they could really call a friend, a confidant, their boy, their girl, right? Who won't sleep with your friend, with your significant other behind your back, won't steal from you. I saw a video the other day. There's a video. I don't even listen. I got a strike, so I don't even know what I can play or not. But there's a video on Instagram. I've been playing all those for the longest. Video on Instagram where a basketball player, Michael Beasley, his last name is definitely Beasley, and Beasley, and he found out that his own mother, and his, I want to say his manager, or what's the other term? The dude who's get you the contracts, agent. He was either the manager or the agent was stealing from him. Your own mother, your mother, and let's just say it was a manager. It might have been an agent, but somebody was stealing from two. And he said, you kind of expect this from friends or family, whatever. This is why we become so secretive and all this. But his own mother? I mean, how is that even? I guess how is that even possible? Did these people have access to your accounts? And I watched that Mike Tyson movie a couple of years ago. Maybe it was last year. And the people stealing from him. I'm talking about the friendship thing, right? The financial decisions of multimillionaires and how they're living is not the concern of this video. But I'm talking about people who you think you should be trusting, people who you think you can call your ace, and they really don't have your best interests at heart. So therefore, people become cynical, and they become hardened, and they become aloof, and they just move differently, and they don't want to talk to anyone, and they're secretive all the time, and they're always hiding and never really expressing themselves, standoffish, and all these other different terms to show why they don't really rock with people like that. So finding good, strong friends is a difficult thing, but if you want to find a friend, first thing you have to do, as I said, is be a friend. And next thing is, and really, it's really important. A lot of times, we're living in a time where it becomes easy to sit in the house. It becomes easy to sit in the house and not do anything. I watched another video by this guy. Guy was 50 years old, and he was walking through the woods. He's like, I don't want to talk to anybody. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He didn't want to go see anybody. He just wanted to be by himself because of the hurts and pains and disappointment of the world. And I get that, man. A lot of times I get that. I understood exactly what he was feeling. It's great that I get to talk, on YouTube or whatever, but when you have been disappointed, when the more you go out into the world, right, you get disappointed. Right? You're sitting in traffic, you're hurt, you try to develop a relationship with somebody, whether it's on your job or whatever, somehow they let you down in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I still will maintain that there is an importance to having friends for your own mental health, for your sanity, and all that. And so, it's also a form of protection, not just physical protection for, somebody you can call on, but emotional, psychological protection as well. So stop outsourcing therapy and go get yourself a friend. Stop outsourcing therapy and go get yourself a friend or two. In order to do that, you first have to be friendly. You may have been disappointed by people in the past, but keep trying and keep going. Much love and peace.